question, why are you down there? What are you doing down there?
Well, this is the annual U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting, and it is an opportunity for mayors to learn from one another and also to talk to the policymakers, the decision makers in Washington, and try to ensure that they are taking our communities into consideration as they develop policies and think about whether it's infrastructure, housing, immigration, really what's happening on our streets to be able to formulate policies that work for our cities.
And I did see that in one of the releases that we got, there's going to be discussions about the challenges that are faced in the cities. What would you say are the biggest challenges within the city of Albany?
Well, the city right now, like cities across the country, is still wrestling with a healthcare crisis, and that is a crisis in providing mental health services to people who need it. Crime is down in our city, but the perceptions have not matched that reduction in crime. People still feel unsafe because they are seeing unhoused individuals, people struggling with mental illness, struggling with substance use disorder, and they don't understand why are these individuals out on the streets? Why aren't they getting the help that they need? And so there are a number of reasons for that. I want to commend our governor for speaking about it in her State of the State. Every mayor in that room stood up and applauded when she talked about the fact that we need more tools to get people the help that they need. And so that's an area where I'm really focused on what's working in other places and how we can ensure that we're addressing the challenges that people are facing. These are individuals who are in crisis, but it's also creating a sense of a lack of safety, when you see somebody in a mental health crisis. And so that to me is a huge challenge that we have to continue to work on.
And with those challenges, obviously there are, you're advocating. I would imagine that you're down there advocating right now. What's the message that you want the people of Albany to know that you're down there for this, to talk about all of this?
Well, I think that this meeting is an opportunity to bring great ideas back to the city of Albany. It was a conversation that I had at this meeting a few years ago that led to the creation of our Department of Neighborhood Services. I've worked with other mayors and learned from other mayors about how they are dealing with some of the same issues that we deal with: responsiveness, how we can continuously improve in responding to our constituents. And so that's a really important reason to be here. And the other reason to be here is money. This is, again, where all of the departments that really control the purse strings are here. The decision makers are here. And so it gives me the opportunity to interface with them and to talk about important issues. I've advocated for the Livingston Avenue Bridge, for example. That's now finally happening, again, thanks to Governor Hochul, but also thanks to being able to sit face to face and talk about how important that project is to the city of Albany with those who are going to help to fund it. So this is about working very hard for the residents, the businesses, the constituents in the city of Albany to get us the resources that we need to continue on the path that we're on, which is tremendous growth, lots of job opportunities, and really a very bright future. The economic outlook is great. I'm hearing that here. Again, all things are pointing in the right direction. We just have to make sure that we're able to deliver for our constituents.
Definitely. Now, I would imagine that you're having some conversations with other mayors. What is, I guess, the perception of other mayors that they have on Albany?
Well, first of all, they all think it's cold. So there is that. But, Albany as a capital city is something that is of interest to folks. How are we dealing with the fact that on any given day, 50% of the state workforce is working from home? That impacts people's feeling of safety in our downtown. It impacts our downtown businesses. And so really talking about what we've been doing in order to address that. And I'm grateful to the governor for the $200 million that she's committing in recognition, in part, of the fact that we have to reimagine our downtown. We've got to do more office conversions to residential. We've been doing that successfully, but we need the resources to do even more of that, to create a downtown that is vibrant and that takes into account that the workforce has changed. And so we have to evolve and change with it.
Definitely. And I also see that you're moderating a panel as well for women-owned businesses. Can you just talk a little bit about that and why you're down there speaking about it?
Small businesses are the lifeblood of any community. They account for more than half of the jobs in most of our cities. And those small businesses mean a tremendous amount to the viability and the vibrancy that we see in our city. And so, especially in a city like Albany, where 65% of our property is non-taxable, we are a government town. And so it's challenging. And so supporting small businesses is really a crucial strategy for us. And I wanted to be able to share some of the experiences that we had with using our American Rescue Plan dollars in where actually very small investments made a huge difference. And one of the business owners I'm going to be talking about today is a small business owner who her challenge was being able to afford insurance because she makes leather goods, she makes purses, and she has a wonderful business. But she, really hit a roadblock when she learned how much her insurance would be because she's a manufacturer. And we were able to provide her with funding to get her over that hurdle. So sometimes it's just talking to business owners. We think that we know what they need, but when we really listen to them, oftentimes we're able to do even more than we had imagined.
Oh, that's great. It was mentioned as well that it's, on the eve of Inauguration Day. Did you have anything that you would like to say about that?
Well, certainly, the city is abuzz with people who are here for the inauguration. I think the last minute news that I have heard is that it's being moved indoors. Apparently, they're not as hardy as we are up in Albany, but it is going to be cold here, and so there are a lot of street closures and sidewalk closures. So a lot of hustle and bustle. I'm going to be heading back to Albany on Saturday just so that I can sort of avoid the crush of people. But there's certainly a lot of enthusiasm here.